Good morning, everyone. So today we are going to start the new chapter. So let's start the chapter. I'm going to share you the screen. Okay. So today we're going to start the very new chapter, that is matrices. And the subtopic which we are going to include in this is its basic concepts of your matrices, which you have already learned in your 11th standard. And the new topic, the new subtopic under that, that is elementary transformation. So let's go ahead. So if you see, there are many different ways of capturing images, right? Suppose if I consider one image, how this image will be stored in your computer, laptop, or mobile phones. Okay, so let's see that how this will be stored. So this particular image will go some engineering process in the form of 1001. Okay, so a image will be stored in this form in your electronic devices, right? So now this particular arrangement, which you can see, a rectangular arrangement of numbers in rows and columns, which is in rows or column format, is known as your matrix. Okay, so this is either enclosed in square bracket or C bracket. So let's see the basic concepts. Suppose if I consider a matrix, you can see there are few numbers inside the matrix. So we cannot call that as numbers. We have to call that as elements of the matrix. Okay, so I've noted the matrix with A. So this is my A matrix. Now let's see the number of rows and columns over here. Okay, so number of rows. Can you see how many rows you have? That is the horizontal position. See, we have two horizontal positions over here. So two horizontal line you can easily see. So there are two rows. Okay, so let's see the number of columns. That is vertical lines. So let me show you all the vertical lines. So we have 3 over here. So number of columns is 3. Now let's try to write the elements of this matrix. Okay, so I'm going to randomly select any of the particular element, and I'm going to tell you the position of that element and the notation which you can give to that particular element. Okay, so now suppose I've taken 0. Now 0 is where? 0 is in the first row and first column. Okay, it is in the first row, first column. So the name will be A11. Okay, 11 means first row and then first column. So first you have to mention the row number and then you have to mention the column number. Okay, let's select some other number now. I've selected 3. So look at 3. So 3 is in the second row, okay, and second column. So the position will be, or the notation will be A22 because it is in the second row, second column. Okay, let's select 2 over here now. So now 2, where is 2? 2 is in the first row and third column. First row and the third column. So the position will be A13. Okay. Now let's select -2. So -2. Again, this is in the second row. Okay. And first column. Second row and first column. So the position will be A21. Okay. Now let's select -1. So -1, where it is? First row, second column. So it is A12. First row, second column. Now similarly, the last element that you can see, it is in the second row and third column. So the position will be, or the notation will be A23. So this way you can see how we can represent the elements of the matrix. Okay. So let's go ahead. So now let's define the matrix. Okay, so you can see a rectangular arrangement. So a rectangular arrangement which has m rows and n columns. Okay, you can see I have generalized the matrix starting from A11 to A1n in the horizontal form, and in your vertical from A11 to AM1. Okay, so I have a rectangular arrangement of mn numbers in m rows and n column is your definition of matrices. Okay, now each of this A11, A21, AM1, all these are element of a matrix. Okay, now your order, so it's m matrix. So let's generalize this. So you can say A is equal to Aij, okay, where I and j is nothing but ith row and jth column. Okay, I represents which column, which row. Okay, ij represents which column and which row. So your general way of representing the matrix can be A is equal to Aij to the prefix m into n. Okay, so this is the definition of matrices. Let's see the application of matrices. There are many applications, as you can see. This all are the different fields where matrices are used. Okay, let's go ahead. What is elementary transformation? The main topic of this particular chapter. Now, the name says elementary transformation, right? Element means it includes element, and transformation means change. That means you need to change the elements. You need to change the elements. Okay, so let's see under that. Elementary transformation are 6 basic operations. Okay, so that basic operations you need to use to change the elements in a particular matrix. Now this 6 is divided. So this 6 is 3 due to row and 3 due to column. Okay, so let's go ahead. So first one, I'm going to explain you all the 6 basic operations with the help of examples. Okay, and then I'll explain you in detail. So let's see one example over here. So I've taken one particular matrix. Okay, you can see 1 2 3 4. Now in this I'm going to apply one operation. If you see, I've written over there R1 interchanges to R2. Now what do you mean by this particular symbol? It is biconditional symbol. That means if R1 changes to R2, then R2 will change to R1. It's vice versa. Okay, that is the meaning of interchange. So let's interchange. Now if you see row 1, you have 1 and 2 element. There are 2 elements. Okay, and row 2, that is the second row, you have 3 and 4. So your 3 and 4 will shift to the first row, and 1 and 2 will shift to your second row. So that is what this particular operation tells about. So let's do that. Okay, so this is your transformed matrix. Okay, now there's a particular note over here. Don't this particular transformed and the original matrix cannot be actually compared. We'd never compare this. Okay, because we do the transformation for a particular reason. Okay, so let's see this. Now we have not evaluated yet. So this particular thing we can symbolically represent this operation, that is R1 interchanges R2. Symbolically I can say Ri interchanges Rj. Why I have used I and j? Because there might be 3 rows in a particular column, in a particular matrix, right? So in that case, I cannot say R1 interchanges to R2. I have to say R1 interchanges to R3 because there is one more row if I want to change that third row as well. So generalizedly we have written this Ri interchanges Rj. Okay, or else there's one more way of writing, that is Rij, which means Ri interchanges with Rj. Okay, so this is the first operation, that is interchange of any two rows. Okay, so as the name suggests, it is one of the elementary transformation, and that is also due to rows. Okay, so here we interchange the ith row and jth row, getting a transformed matrix. After interchanging, you get a transformed matrix. So this was the first operation, students. Let's go to the next one. Okay, here also I'll start with an example. I'll consider one matrix. So the elements are 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so here if you see, I've written C1 interchanges C2. Now C1 is first column and C2 is second column. So let's see what are the elements in your first column. So first column you have 1 and 3, and second column you have 2 and 4. Okay, so you have to interchange this. Interchange in the sense, your first column elements will shift to second column and your second column elements will shift to first column. So let's do that. Okay, so this is your transformed matrix. Okay, so symbolically you can say Ci interchanges Cj, as you have done it for rows. Similarly it is for column. Okay, so you can also write this as Cij. So here, this is your second elementary transformation, that is interchange of any two columns. Okay, so it is one of the elementary transformation due to columns. So here we interchange ith and jth column and you get a transformed matrix. So I hope the two operations are very clear. Okay, you just have to interchange two rows and two columns whenever it is necessary in a particular sum. Now the third one. Before going to third one, I want to tell you all something. Keep this particular note in mind. A row of a matrix cannot be interchanged with a column. Suppose I'll give an example to you all. Ri cannot be interchanged with Cj. Okay, because a row is different and column is different. So that time you have to either go with row, changing the rows, or either go by changing your column. Okay, you cannot change both simultaneously. So that is the reason this is not allowed. And even you cannot do a column cannot be interchanged with a row. That is, Ci cannot be interchanged with Rj. Okay, so you have to do Ci interchange with Cj only, and similarly Ri interchanges with Rj only. Okay, so row can be interchanged with a row itself and column can be interchanged with a column itself. Okay, so let's go ahead. Now the third operation, I'm going to again start with an example. I have considered one matrix. Okay, now see the operation which I've written. I've written R2 interchanges, sorry, R2 changes. Now this is not interchanges because it is just implies sign. R2 changes to 4 times R2. That means what? Whatever elements are in your second row, you're going to multiply that elements with 4. Okay, it is 4 times those elements. This is what this particular operation says. So let's apply that. Now let me see what are the elements in your column, in your row 2. So that is 3 and 4 if you see. So you have to multiply 4 to your 3 and 4. So let's do that. So 3 into 4, 4 into 4. So you get a transformed matrix as 0, 2, 12 and 16. This is your transformed matrix. So in general, you can represent this operation as Ri changes to k times ri. Now what do you mean by k? K is any constant. Okay, is any constant. Constant means it should be non-zero scalar. That means it can be positive, it can be negative, and it can be but it cannot be zero. It is non-zero scalar. It can be positive, it can be negative, but it cannot be zero. Okay, so this is your third operation, which is multiplying an element of any row by a non-zero scalar. So you're going to multiply a particular constant to all the elements of one particular row. So this is the generalized way of representing it. Okay, so here k is a non-zero scalar and your row ri is to be multiplied by constant k. That means if you're multiplying, if ri is to be multiplied by k, that means we need to multiply every element of ri by constant k. Okay, so this is what your third operation is. Now the same operation will be valid for your column as well. So that will be your fourth operation. Okay. So I'll just give an example. I have a matrix over here and I have taken one operation. C1 changes to minus 3 times C1. So if you see, you have elements in your first column, that is 0 and 3. Right, this is your first particular columns element, that is 0 and 3. So you have to multiply minus 3 to it. So let's do that. So you will get a transformed matrix. So you will get 0 into minus 3 will be obviously 0 and 3 into minus 3 is minus 9. So this is your transformed matrix. So symbolically you can represent Ci changes to k times Ci. Okay, so when you are changing in one particular row or column, the other row and column will be as it is. Nothing will happen to that particular row and column where you are not using any operation. Okay, okay, so this again I'll explain you all in the note, so no need to worry. So now this particular operation says multiplying an element of any column by a non-zero scalar, okay, so that is your k. So if k is a non-zero scalar and C1 is to be multiplied by constant k, that means we multiply every element of Ci by constant k. Okay. So let's go ahead with the fifth operation. Okay, I'll take an example. Now this is very, very important, student, because this is helpful to convert a particular matrix into an identity matrix every time. Okay, so I'll just take an example. I have a matrix over here and the operation says R1 changes to R1 plus 2 times R2. Now what I have done, I need to change my first row, but I've taken the help of the second row as well. Okay, I've taken the help of second row as well. So let's do this operation. So R1, so what is the R1 element? R1 element is minus 1 over here. Okay, so minus 1 plus 2 times R2 element. Now what is R2 element? See over here, your corresponding element is 2. Okay, so I've written over here in the bracket 2. Okay, so this way you're going to apply the operation. Okay, so similarly you're going to apply the same operation to 4 as well, because it belongs to your first row. So first row element, that is 4 plus 2 times R2, so which is the corresponding element, that is 5. So 5 will come over here. Okay, so answer will be 3, 14, 2, 5. Now you have done the operations in your first row, so that is the reason your second row is as it is. Okay, so you get the symbolic form as Rj changes to Rj plus k times Ri. That means you're doing the changes in Rj row, okay, with the help of the row Ri. Okay, so this in detail, you can say that adding scalar multiple of all elements of any row. So scalar multiple, why I have used? Because it is k times Ri. You are multiplying something to the Ri row to change the Rj column. Okay. So adding scalar multiple of all elements of any row to corresponding element of the other row. Okay. So this is your scalar multiple, that is k times Ri, and the other row is your Rj. Okay. So you can say consider k as a constant or a non-zero scalar, then k multiples of the elements Ri are to be added to the elements of Rj. This is what this particular operation says. Now the last operation will be exactly similar to your fifth operation. The only change will be that in that case we have applied a row operation. So here we are going to apply the column operation. So let's take an example, -1, 2, 4, 5. Okay. So the operation, if you see, it is written that C2 changes to C2 plus -3 times C1. Okay. -3 times C1. So let's apply this. Your column 2 is 4 and 5. If you see, so with the help of column 1, you're going to change your column 2. So let's apply that. So 4 plus -3 times -1, because the corresponding element is -1, and it is 5 plus -3 times 2. So 2 is the corresponding element over here. So after applying the operation, you get the answer -1, 2, 7 and -1. Okay. So the general form or the symbolic form of representing this will be Cj implies Cj plus KCI. Okay. So again, this is the same thing, adding scalar multiple of all elements of any column to corresponding element of the other column. Okay. So that says consider k as a constant scalar. Here k multiples of column Ci are to be added to the elements of Ci. Okay. So let's discuss the notes. Okay. Here if you see, Ri changes to Rj changes to Rj plus K times Ri. Okay, this is what we have done. So after this particular transformation, your Ri remains the same, because as I have said, Rj we are changing it, Ri will remain the same. If you see in this example, 2 and 5 is as it was in the original matrix. Okay. So similarly in the column also, when we are changing C2 column, your C1 is as it is. Okay. You're just taking the help of C1 to change C2, but your C1 column will be the remain as your original column only. Okay. Now the other point is, after applying your elementary transformation, your matrix obtained, that is the transformed matrix, is equivalent to original matrix. That means it will be of the same order, it will be equivalent. Okay. Now the third important note is, elements of row or multiples of elements of row cannot be added to elements of a column. Okay. See, you want to change your one of the rows, you cannot take the help of column in that case. As I have said before, if you're going through your row changes, you have to follow row only, you have to use rows only, you cannot use column. So this is wrong, you have to use this particular concept only. And similarly, uh, conversely also it is not applicable, that is you cannot change any of the column with the help of your row. Okay, so it has to be Ci implies Ci plus K times Cj, and Ri implies Ri plus K times Rj. Okay, so let's solve few sums. Okay, now I've taken few examples from your exercise only. This is all your elementary transformation itself. Okay, so here if you see in your exercise 2.1, which is in page 39, it is not mentioned in your textbook. Students, please buy textbook, okay, and refer the textbook during your lectures. So in your page 39, it is only mentioned exercise, but that is the first exercise of your chapter. So please mark it. It is exercise 2.1. Okay, so apply the given uh, elementary transformation on each of the following matrices. Now in this case, the elementary transformation is already given to you. Okay, the elementary transformation is already given to you. So what you have to do is you have to apply this particular thing. First, I'll write the particular given matrix as it is. Okay, I'll be writing as it is. Now, what does the transformation says? The transformation says R1 interchanges to R2. R1 interchanges to R2. That means R1 elements will shift to R2 and R2 elements will shift to R1. So which is your row 1? This is your row 1 and this is your row 2. So the transformed matrix will be -1, 3, and this will shift down. So this is your answer. Okay. Now similarly, you can solve the second one. The second one, I'll just write the given matrix first. This is the way you need to write the solution, students. Okay. So I've written this. Now I'm going to apply the operations. So R1 changes to R1 minus R2. Okay. So I'm taking the help of R2 to change my R1, but nothing will happen to my R2 elements. Okay. So after applying this particular transformation, what I will get, I'll write my R2 elements as it is because nothing I'm going to do with my R2 elements. So R1 becomes R1 minus R2. So what is my R1? My R1 is 1. So it is 1 minus R2. What is the corresponding element? 2. So I'll write 2 over here. Okay. Similarly, -1. Okay. -1 and then -5. Okay. And similarly over here 3 minus 4. So the answer is 1 minus 2 is -1, -1 minus 5 is -6, -1 over here, and these elements will be as it is. Okay, so this way we're going to solve the sums. Let's go ahead with the next sum. Okay, now in this particular sum, if you see, you have two matrix given to you. Okay, you have two matrix given to you. So your A matrix, I'll just write A matrix. So A matrix is 5, 4, 1, 3. Okay, and you have to apply this transformation. C1 interchanges to C2. Okay, so that is A interchanges to, you get a transform matrix by doing your column transformation. Okay, so first column elements will shift to second and second will shift to first. So let's do that. So it will become 4 3 5 1, 4 3 5 1. Okay, now I'll just mark this one because there's one more question over here. What do you observe? So for that reason, I'll just mark this. Now I'll take the B matrix. Okay. So B matrix is 3, 1, 4, 5. And here the transformation is row transformation, which says R1 interchanges to R2. Okay. So your B will become row. This is your row, right? Your row R1 and R2. So that interchanges. So 4, 5 will go up and 3, 1 will come down. So I'll mark this. So now see, your 1 and 2, it is exactly the same. So what do you observe? You observe that A matrix is exactly equal to your B matrix. Okay. So this was your third sum from your first exercise. Okay. Now, the next one. The next one says, now if suppose the meeting is over, please rejoin with the same link. Okay, students. Now, let's continue with this. So, I'll write my A. So, A is 1, 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 3. Okay. So what our operation or transformation I have to do? Column transformation. It says 2 times C2. So I have to do the changes in column 2. I have to do the changes in column 2. So column 2 you have to multiply it by 2. Okay. So let's do that. Now if you multiply over here, no need of writing each and every step. If you know, you can directly do it. So 2 times C2, that means these are the column 2 elements, 2 and 1. So you have to multiply 2 to it. What is 2 twos are? 2 twos are 4 and 2 ones are 2. So the transformed matrix will be, this will be as it is. Your first column will be as it is. Your third column will be as it is. And your second column will become 4 and 2 after doing the transformation. Okay, fine. Now let's write your B matrix because they have given B 1, 0, 2, 2, 4, 5. Okay, and the transformation is you have to do with your R1, that is to the first row. You have to multiply minus 3 to all the elements of first row. So first row changes to minus 3 times your R1. So let's do that. Okay, let's do that. So what you will get, which is your first row, this is your first row. So you're doing the changes in first row. So please write your second row elements as it is. Okay. Now 1 into minus 3 is minus 3, right? 0 into minus 3 is 0 and 2 into minus 3 is minus 6. So this is your B. Now what is the question? The question says find the addition of the new matrices. Find the addition of the new matrices. So which is the new one? This is what I got the new one, right? And this is what I got the new one. So what I have to do with that? What I have to do with that? I have to add them. I have to find the addition of the new matrices. So A plus B. I have to find A plus B. I'll write my A 1, 4, minus 1. 0, 2, 3. I'm taking this 2 just because they have mentioned this new matrices. Okay, new means after applying these transformations. Okay, so I'll write both A and B. Okay, fine. So let's add this. So add each element of first row to the corresponding element of the second matrix. Okay, so let's add that. So over here if you have 1, so 1 plus minus 3. Okay, so this is each element of first matrix you have to add to the corresponding element of the second matrix. So here the next will be 4 plus 0. Next will be minus 1 plus minus 6. Okay. Next 0 plus 2. 0 plus 2. Then 2 plus 4. Then 3 plus 5. Okay. So you will get the answer. 1 minus 3 is minus 2. Okay. 4 plus 0 is 4. And minus 1 minus 6 is minus 7. 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 plus 4 is 6. Okay. And then 3 plus 5 is 8. So this is your A plus B. This is your A plus B. Okay. So this way you can easily do this. Okay. Now let's solve the next one. Okay. Now your fifth and sixth example of this exercise, it's the similar thing. Okay. You just have to do your column and row transformation. So you can easily do it. So I'm skipping those sums. If still you have any doubt, you can contact me. Okay. You can write in the chat box in your next session, not in this session. Okay. Now, if you see in this particular sum, what it is written, upper triangular matrix. What it is written, upper triangular matrix. So what do you mean by upper triangular? I hope you know the basics of matrices. I hope you know what is upper triangular matrix. Okay. Your upper triangular matrix is what? You get a upper triangle. I'll just show you an example. Suppose if you have, if you have 1, 2, 3, and there's a 0 over here. So there's a formation of triangle at the upper side. Formation of triangle means with the help of numbers except 0. Okay. So this is upper triangular. Now the given matrix, what they have given. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a matrix 2 cross 2. That means it is a square matrix. Okay. You need to convert this square matrix into an upper triangular matrix. That means you have to do some kind of transformation so that your given matrix becomes a upper triangular matrix. That means I just have to convert this particular element as 0. First, let me write this matrix. So let A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the given matrix. Now I need to convert this as, in this place, 0. I need to convert 3 into 0. So how it is possible? How you can convert 3 into 0? So 3 minus 3 is 0, right? So that means I need to take the help of the other row. I need to take the help of the other row. So what I'll use the operation as, R2 changes to R2 minus 3 times R1. Why I did this? Because there is 1 over here. If I multiply 3 to 1, it becomes 3. So 3 minus 3, this will become 0. Okay, this will become 0. So let's do that. So after the change, what do you get? After the change, what do you get? See, your first row will be as it is. Okay. Now your second row. Second row says R2. So it is 3 minus 3 times the corresponding element. And then 4 minus 3 times the corresponding element. Okay.